Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. It's moments like these when you start to see Joe Biden on the world stage that you really start to appreciate Donald Trump for who he is. You know, I keep saying this, I think even on the Republican side, I think Donald Trump is one of the most criminally underappreciated politicians and frankly, historical figures in the modern era. And that realization or that opinion keeps getting more and more reinforced every single day because the simple fact of the matter is, Joe Biden is a complete imbecile. I'm so tired of this guy talking to me as if I'm completely uneducated and I have no idea what's going on. It's nothing but a constant insult to my intelligence. Joe, your voters may be stupid, but I am certainly not. Yet he continues to treat me as if I'm a complete moron. Excuse my language, I'm a little bit frustrated with the things that he says. I mean, the copium, the propaganda, the lies, the absolute refusal and denial of reality is starting to drive me crazy. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that as we go in on this old buffoon, this geriatric fool currently occupying the Oval Office. We've got some stuff to get into, friends, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we recently covered that the Saudis are slashing oil production by 2 million barrels a day. Oil prices are starting to go up, and now piled on top of that, the Saudis just announced that they're keeping their prices the same for Russia, China, and Europe, but increasing their prices of oil exports exclusively to the United States. And leftoids on Twitter are freaking out, claiming the Saudis are trying to derail Joe Biden's presidency ahead of the midterm elections. Joe Biden recently taking the podium and also saying this:
every kitchen table cost is going to go up, not down. And I realize costs are going up on food, and I was able to bring gasoline down well over $1.60, but it's inching up because of what the Russians and the Saudis just did. We're the United States of America. There's nothing we've ever set our mind to we've not been able to do. Nothing. And folks, nothing's beyond the capacity if we work together.
Now, I'm not exactly sure why he's yelling and shaking like that, but anyways, the actual content, what he's saying, is so incredibly frustrating. Joe Biden initially said, "I'm just the president, I can't control oil prices." They started to fall because of demand destruction. Joe Biden then immediately takes credit claiming he reduced the oil prices himself. Now they're going up again, and of course it's not his fault, it's those darn Russians and Saudis. Great diplomacy, Joe, you're just doing a fantastic job with our adversaries, and I guess even supposed allies with the Saudis. This guy is a complete clown. It's 100% his fault. American energy should not be reliant on the Russians and the Saudis. It's that simple. If you had done what you were supposed to continue Donald Trump's legacy of energy independence, maybe we wouldn't be in this position in the first place. It's not my fault, it's the Saudis and the Russians, Joe Biden says, after canceling the Keystone XL and straight up halting oil permits. It's in fact so much Joe Biden's fault, and not the Russians and not the Saudis, that even Larry Summers, Obama's economic advisor, left-wing Democrat Larry Summers, came out to correct the record.
Look, we made a mistake by canceling the Keystone Pipeline. We made a mistake by slowing down all kinds of permitting activity. We made a mistake by being hostile as a country to natural gas.
This is Obama's guy. This isn't a Republican shill. That's Larry Summers. He worked in the same administration as Joe Biden did under Obama. Democrats are once again playing political games here, and even the Saudis come out swinging, absolutely slamming Joe Biden. Joe Biden's the one here playing politics.
Upcoming elections, Saudi Arabia does not politicize oil or oil decisions. Oil is not a weapon, it's not a fighter plane, it's not a tank. You can't shoot it, you can't do anything with it. We look at oil as a commodity, and we look at oil as important to the global economy in which we have a huge stake. The idea that Saudi Arabia would do this to harm the US or to be in any way politically involved is absolutely not correct at all. With due respect, the reason you have high prices in the United States is because you have a refining shortage that has been in existence for more than 20 years. You haven't built refineries in decades. You have now, unfortunately, and my condolences to the victims and to those who were injured, I wish the quick, speedy recovery. You have accidents that happened in a refinery in California, and you have a number of refineries in the Midwest that were shut down. It's as a result of this shortage of refining capacity that you have a shortage of gasoline and an increase in the
That right there is Adel Al-Jubeir, Saudi Arabia's climate envoy and the Saudi Arabian Minister of State. He is 100% correct, and I know this because we've covered this. You know why gas is so expensive in California? Because not only do they tax it into oblivion, but because they've shut down so many refineries and they refuse to build more refiners to increase their refining capacity. They completely reject the idea that they're playing American politics, that the Saudis are somehow making these decisions because they're trying to impact the 2022 midterms, as if that has anything to do with them. You know, I probably think that the Saudis, if anything, want more of Joe Biden, because Joe Biden continues to attack his own country's oil producing capabilities, and the Saudis are then able to control the supply of oil, shooting the prices up, which increases their profit margins tremendously, and so they're doing fantastic under Joe Biden's policies, because it takes them like $23 a barrel, if I'm not mistaken, to produce the oil, and then they could sell it on the global stage for over $100. They're 4xing their initial investment. Why the hell would the Saudis want Donald Trump back, who turned America into a big energy player and made it so that America didn't even need Saudi oil? Instead, we have this absolute joke of a president begging the Saudis with zero leverage, with zero power, expecting them to cut their own profits by billions of dollars to do bro Biden a favor. Complete fool. But of course, we went into that in a previous video. This stuff just bothers me so much because it's clear, basic economics. And we're seeing this president who's either completely lost, his brain just doesn't work anymore, he's completely incompetent and just doesn't understand basic concepts, or there's some sort of new liberal world order agenda that they're secretly playing behind the scenes, and they're doing all of this on purpose. Either way, it's incredibly frustrating, and it makes you think, man, where is the last guy? You know, none of this stuff would be happening if Donald Trump was still president. Under Joe, you have record high inflation, the stock market is crashing, oil prices are unstable, volatile, and continue to rise. He's an absolute failure when it comes to foreign policy, an absolute failure when it comes to international trade. He's failing the American people, and then on top of that, he's further continuing, enabling, and perpetuating this war in Eastern Europe. You know, here's another clip so we could continue with the contrast. This showed up on my Twitter feed the other day.
But it would be much easier for me to be so tough. The tougher I am on Russia, the better. But you know what? I want to do the right thing for the American people. And to be honest, secondarily, I want to do the right thing for the world. If Russia and the United States actually got together and got along, and don't forget, we're a very powerful nuclear country, and so are they. There's no upside. We're a very powerful nuclear country, and so are they. I've been briefed, and I can tell you one thing about a briefing that we're allowed to say because anybody that ever read the most basic book can say it. Nuclear holocaust would be like no other. They're a very powerful nuclear country, and so are we. If we have a good relationship with Russia, believe me, that's a good thing, not a bad.
So when you say this is exactly what I was saying in my previous video. This is what I miss. A president who knew how to work with our adversary. A president who knew how to get people to the table, negotiate, and find peace. Make a deal. Instead, we have these Democrat deep state goons in office, these warmongers, who are not only destabilizing the world economy, but destabilizing world relations and global peace. It's been 2 years of Joe Biden. It feels like we're headed back into World War III. He's talking about nuclear Armageddon. We're already back into the Cold War. He continues to use American taxpayer dollars to fund this war instead of getting people to the table and signing a damn peace treaty, negotiating, coming to terms, finding a balance. If you have to sacrifice a little bit, do it so tens of thousands more lives aren't affected and we could avoid what Joe Biden is warning of, nuclear Armageddon. I mean, what do you want? What's better, the annexation of Donbass or the annexation of Crimea, or another 30 to 50,000 lives lost and a possible nuclear apocalypse? Not to mention the impact that it's having on energy. We're about to see an energy crisis in Europe. The simple fact of the matter is everything is going to crap under this president. And it's not just timing like the Democrats tell you, well, Joe Biden was just dealt a really rough hand. No, it's Joe Biden's fault. He's incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing. And his decisions are leading to what we're seeing. That is the simple fact. Oil prices are going up because of him. Inflation is up because of him. The length of this border crisis, and frankly, probably the border crisis in general, or the border conflict conflict rather, not the southern border crisis, but the border between Crimea and Russia, that conflict probably has something to do with him in some way, and he continues to fund it and pour fuel on the flame. It's not just Joe Biden being dealt a bad hand. Joe Biden is the bad hand. I just wish it was a poker table and we could fold the hand and move on to the next one, which is hopefully two kings. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what I mean by that. In fact, I'll probably just make a little visual cue so you guys know exactly what I mean. Anyways, I'm probably gonna end it here because I'm just ranting. It's Saturday evening. I should probably stop working. I'm gonna go out for dinner. I'm gonna drink a nice whiskey and I'm gonna forget all about this absolute clown currently occupying the office. And hopefully, Donald Trump comes back soon. That's what I got for you guys though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video, possibly subscribe if you guys feel like joining us here. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.